Here we go.
Holy smokes.
And if you look right there, about 15 inches wide and about 2 feet long.
An AI algorithm just shattered 2 centuries of mystery. It analyzed a granite slab, long thought to be a worthless replica of Oak Island's famous 90-foot stone. By using multispectral imaging, the AI looked past the faded surface and decoded a message hidden within the stone's very grain. This wasn't the simple cipher everyone expected. The translation is a terrifying warning, left by a group far more powerful than pirates. The contents are so shocking they explain the curse that has plagued the island for generations and what truly lies buried in the money pit. What the stone really says. Recently, a major breakthrough sent shockwaves through the treasure hunting community. A stone matching the exact historical descriptions of the legendary artifact was recovered. It was found of all places in the crawl space of a Halifax bookbindery, the very same place the original was last reported to be seen. The stone is a rectangular block of granite, roughly 2 feet long, 15 inches wide, weighing close to 200 pounds.
Deeply carved, even when they first found the stone.
It's flat on 2 sides with rounded corners, checking every single box from historical accounts. However, the surface was worn smooth, a result of decades of being used as a leather-beating stone by the bookbinder. The famous inscription was seemingly gone, with only 2 faint initials, L and N, visible to the naked eye. Many people were crazy about this find, but most dismissed it as a replica or a dead end. What many overlooked is that technology has changed the game entirely. A team of researchers from a leading tech institute was granted access to the stone. They brought with them a revolutionary new form of artificial intelligence designed for archaeolinguistics. This wasn't just a simple computer program, it was a deep learning network capable of analyzing patterns the human eye could never detect. You see, the team's theory was that even if the surface was worn down, the act of carving the original symbols would have created microscopic fractures and compressions deep within the stone's crystalline structure. Using a combination of laser scanning and multispectral imaging, they created a 3-dimensional digital model of the stone, capturing information down to the micron level. The AI went to work, cross-referencing millions of data points from ancient languages, Masonic ciphers, and Templar symbols. For weeks, it churned through the data, looking for non-random patterns in the stone's subsurface. Then it found it. The AI confirmed that the faint L and N were part of a much larger and far more complex message. It had successfully reconstructed 80% of the original inscription. The first part of the translation was close to the popularly believed cipher. 40 feet below, 2 million pounds lie buried. But the thing nobody tells you is that this was just the beginning.
It really is the 90-foot stone, and if we can apply some technology and actually see the inscription.
The AI discovered this was a misdirection, a simple code to hide a far more important message. The true message, hidden using a substitution cipher that blended elements of ancient Greek and Hebrew, was what left the researchers speechless. The full, shocking translation reads, "Halt." Below this marker, the sacred word of the Lord, brought from Jerusalem by the hand of the Templar, is guarded by 7 souls. To disturb the vault is to break the pact. The treasure is a lie, the true hoard is faith. This changes everything. The discovery implies that the Oak Island treasure isn't gold or jewels, but something infinitely more valuable and perhaps more dangerous. A religious relic, possibly the Holy Grail or the Ark of the Covenant itself. The 7 souls suggests a terrible price has already been paid to protect it, eerily echoing the legend that 7 people must pass away before the treasure can be found. The message is not an invitation, it is a stark and terrifying warning. The entire 200-year quest has been based on a complete misunderstanding. The AI didn't just find a clue, it may have uncovered a sacred trust. But who were the Templars who buried it? A history written in code. To understand the sheer magnitude of the AI's discovery, one has to go back to the very beginning. The Oak Island saga began in the summer of 1795. A young man named Daniel McGinnis was wandering the island when he discovered a peculiar circular depression in the ground. Directly above it, a tree branch had been sawn off, and a tackle block hung from it, suggesting something heavy had been lowered into the earth. The thing is, this wasn't just a random hole, it was the start of an obsession that would consume generations. McGinnis and two friends, John Smith and Anthony Vaughn, began to dig. What they found was mind-boggling. Just 2 feet down, they hit a layer of flagstones. At 10 feet, they encountered a platform of oak logs. They found another oak platform at 20 feet and another at 30. This was no natural formation, it was a man-made shaft of incredible complexity, a money pit. They continued their dig for years, but a lack of funding and technology forced them to stop. The story, however, spread like wildfire. In 1803, a group called the Onslow Company took over the search. They dug deeper, finding platforms every 10 feet just as the original boys had. At 90 feet deep, they hit not a wooden platform but a large stone slab, a stone that would become the most famous and enigmatic piece of the entire puzzle. This was the 90-foot stone. Reports from the time described it as being covered in a mysterious inscription of characters and symbols unlike any known language. Many people tried to decipher it, but none could. The stone was pulled from the pit and, for a time, was put on display. It was even said to have been built into the fireplace of a local home. But here's the kicker. As the years went on, the stone simply disappeared. By the late 1800s, it was gone. The only record left was a hand-drawn copy of the symbols published in a newspaper, which many believe was inaccurate. This is where the story gets even stranger. The most widely accepted translation of these copied symbols was, 40 feet below, 2 million pounds are buried. This phrase is what fueled the treasure hunt for the next 150 years. But without the original stone, it was impossible to verify. It was just a guess, a tantalizing piece of lore. What the AI has now seemingly proven is that this popular translation was either a deliberate simplification or a complete misreading of a much more complex cipher. What many overlooked was that the original treasure hunters weren't just fighting against dirt and rock, they were up against an ingeniously designed trap. Shortly after the 90-foot stone was removed, the Onslow Company dug further. They hit a soft spot and suddenly the entire pit flooded with seawater. This was the first encounter with the infamous booby traps, a series of underground flood tunnels connected to the nearby ocean designed to protect whatever was buried below. This catastrophic flood marked the beginning of the Oak Island curse. Over the next 2 centuries, countless searchers would try and fail to bypass these tunnels. Companies went bankrupt, men dedicated their entire lives to the search with nothing to show for it, and the mystery only deepened. The disappearance of the 90-foot stone meant the only key was gone, leaving everyone to guess what lay at the bottom of the pit. Was it pirate treasure, the French crown jewels, or something else entirely? The AI's message points to the Knights Templar. So what is the evidence connecting them to a tiny island in Nova Scotia? Was this a sacred mission? The AI's translation mentioning the sacred word of the Lord brought from Jerusalem by the hand of the Templar is, to put it mildly, a bombshell. It aligns with one of the most compelling and extraordinary theories about Oak Island, that it is the final resting place of the Knights Templar's holy relics. You see, the Knights Templar were a powerful Catholic military order founded in the 12th century. Their mission was to protect Christian pilgrims traveling to the Holy Land. But over time, they became one of the wealthiest and most powerful organizations in the world, pioneering an early form of international banking. The thing nobody tells you is that during their time in Jerusalem, the Templars excavated beneath the Temple Mount. Many historians believe they discovered something of immense importance there, perhaps the Ark of the Covenant, the Holy Grail, or other sacred texts lost for centuries. For nearly 200 years, they were untouchable. But in 1307, their power became a threat. King Philip IV of France, deeply in debt to the order, conspired with the Pope to have them all arrested on charges of heresy. On Friday, the 13th of October, Templars across France were rounded up, tortured, and put on trial. The order was officially disbanded. But here's the kicker. The legendary Templar treasure and fleet were never found. When the king's men went to seize the Templar riches, they found the vaults empty. The Templar fleet, docked at La Rochelle, had vanished overnight. This has led to centuries of speculation. Where did they go? The theory is that they fled, taking their holy relics with them. One of the strongest theories points to Scotland, where they were protected by King Robert the Bruce. From there, many believe a group of Templars, under the command of a Scottish nobleman named Henry Sinclair, sailed across the Atlantic in the late 1300s, a full century before Christopher Columbus. What evidence supports this wild claim? On Oak Island and in surrounding Nova Scotia, researchers have found a series of clues. There is a large man-made stone cross formation on the island composed of massive boulders, a formation that some say is a Templar symbol. In nearby Newport, Nova Scotia, there is a mysterious stone tower whose architecture is strikingly similar to Templar buildings in Europe. Furthermore, a carved stone found in Westford, Massachusetts, appears to depict a 14th century knight with a sword and shield bearing the crest of the Sinclair family. The AI's translation of the 90-foot stone is the piece of evidence that could tie all of this together. The mention of the sacred word of the Lord in Jerusalem directly links the pit's contents to the Templars' original mission in the Holy Land. The phrase, "guarded by 7 souls," could refer to a pact made by the original Templar guardians who created the money pit. They weren't burying treasure for profit. They were creating a permanent hidden vault to protect the most sacred objects in Christendom from their enemies. This explains the incredible complexity of the pit and its deadly traps. It was designed never to be opened. But if this is all true, are we missing a key detail? Is the mystery finally solved, or is there another twist? The island keeps its secrets. So here we are. A powerful AI has seemingly decoded the greatest secret of Oak Island, transforming a treasure hunt into a quest for a holy relic guarded by the ghosts of the Knights Templar. It's a story so perfect, so compelling that it feels like the definitive end of the mystery. But this is Oak Island, and nothing is ever that simple. The thing is, many people watching this are probably wondering, can we really trust this? Did all of this happen overnight, or are we just being told another fantastic story? It's time to talk down to earth for a moment. First, the 90-foot stone itself has always been shrouded in controversy. No photographs of it exist. No independent, verifiable accounts of the inscription from the 1800s have ever been found. The only evidence we have are secondhand stories and that one disputed copy of the symbols from a newspaper. This has led many to believe the stone never existed at all, or that it was a hoax created by early searchers to attract more funding for their digs. So, the first question we have to ask is the stone recovered from the bookbindery really the 90-foot stone? While it matches the physical descriptions, there's no way to prove it definitively. Second, let's consider the AI itself. While the technology described is based on real scientific principles, the translation it provided remains, for now, unverified by any other source. Could the AI have been wrong? Artificial intelligence works by finding patterns, and it's possible that it could find meaning where none exists, creating a false positive from random abrasions in the rock. Without another Templar cipher to compare it to, the AI's shocking message remains a theory. A very compelling theory, but a theory nonetheless. The searchers on the island are still digging, and to date they have found no definitive proof of a Templar presence, let alone a vault containing the Holy Grail. They found old wood, coconut fiber, and intriguing pieces of metal, but no smoking gun. The AI's translation opens up a whole new chapter in the Oak Island mystery, but it doesn't close the book. It forces us to ask bigger questions. Are we looking for gold, or are we looking for faith? Was the money pit built by pirates, Templars, or someone else entirely? Perhaps Francis Bacon, as another popular theory suggests. The beauty and the frustration of Oak Island is that for every answer, a dozen new questions arise. The island has a strange way of offering up just enough clues to keep the search going, but never enough to solve it. So is the AI's warning real, or is it the most sophisticated lie in a 200-year-old con? Let us know your thoughts below. Don't forget to like and subscribe.